Well, the numbers are finally out. Medicare, early in 2019, the trustees report, which is headed by the vice president and a whole bunch of members of the different cabinet boards, met together and they formulated what they thought was going to be their recommendation for 2020 for the Part B deductible. However, it's changed just slightly. So the official numbers, as to be published by the Federal Register on November 13, 2019, indicate the following. The Part B deductible for 2020 is $198. That's the official. Let's take a look at the report, which is not yet filed, but it will become public on November 13, 2019. This is the notice that announces that the monthly actuarial rate, which really doesn't mean anything because the actual part that you are charged for the deductible is going to be about 25% of that. Let's go to it here. It says that the deductible for next year is $198 for all Part B beneficiaries. So what does that mean? It means if you have Plan F Medicare supplement, it doesn't affect you at all until your renewal, because remember, Plan F Medicare supplement, also Plan C Medicare supplement, include the deductible as part of your plan benefits. So what do? Do they, out of the graciousness of their heart, go ahead and pay that deductible for you? No, it's embedded in the rate. So those who on Plan F will see an ever-increasing rate increase on top of the fact that, according to Congress and the MACRA study that led to the MACRA implementation of 2015, people on Plan F overutilize, is what they call it, their Medicare supplemental benefits. They go to the doctor far too often.
But there's clearly overuse. I mean, one of the more controversial recommendations we made, but it's been included in some of the other studies done, is to limit the availability of the Medigap coverage. Because, for instance, not to have it pay for all of the deductible and have it pay for a limited amount of the out-of-pocket, because there's study after study that show that people who have Medigap use 25% more of Medicare services than people who don't.
Which one of the indicators as to why Plan F has had such high rate increases over the years. Now, as of January 1, 2020, when no new people can buy into Plan F or Plan C, that's the plan that paid this deductible for you. That means that there's no new people that are under 65 hitting 65. That's the newest blood into Medicare. They won't be coming into Plan F anymore. So we have that factor. Then we have the fact that the Part B deductible has gone up again, so that's going to be factored into the next rate increase on your Plan F if you have Plan F still. Those are all indicators that if your health will allow it, you should probably consider moving off of Plan F, either to Plan G or to Plan N, depending on how healthy you are and what state you're in. And it might even make sense to go into a high deductible Plan F or high deductible Plan G, available after January 1, 2020. Those are conversations that we're having with people all day as to what is best in their backyard. What happens with people on Plan G Medicare supplement? This does not affect that much at all. The Part B monthly premium will go up slightly, and the income adjustment, which we'll cover in just a moment, changes just slightly as well. So those on Plan G and those on Plan N is in November, you've already been paying your own Part B deductible. So the factor of the deductible into your plan does not matter much. As a matter of fact, the insurance company, and this is just a very small increase, but the insurance company will have to pay this much money less of your Part B expenses, so that even adds further to the stability of the premium itself for Plan G and Plan N Medicare supplement. Let's zip over to page 11 here and look at the income adjustment. That's for people who've earned more than the standard. So here's the new numbers for the income adjustment for people on Part B and how that will affect them. So if you earn as an individual $87,000 or less, then it's going to be $144.60. That's your monthly premium to be on Part B of Medicare. Why do you have to be on that? Because this is everything outside of the hospital. Doctors, x-rays, labs, all those kinds of things. All the outpatient surgery, that's Part B of Medicare. Part A is paid for, as you know, by your credits of having worked so long, the equivalent of 10 years or 40 quarters, and that pays for your Part A. That's the inpatient part. Part B is actually 75% higher than this premium amount right here. The rest of it's subsidized by those that are still working and paying into Medicare like me. So this is really just 25% of what Part B actually costs that's passed along to the beneficiary in real time. So if you earn more than $87,000, and this is always looking back 2 years, the IRS works closely with Social Security, which sets your individual rate for Part B, and they're looking back 2 years. We have a video that talks about if this was weird or wrong in your case, how you can request a redetermination or you can request reconsideration. I'll link that video in the description below. Make sure and take a look at that if it's going to be a one-time hit for you, maybe coming on to Medicare. And 2 years ago, you had a weird thing like you downsized your home, you sold your farm, you moved away, you cashed out your IRA or 401k. That kind of one-off thing should not affect you going all the way forward with what you're going to be paying as a penalty on Part B, not a penalty, but an income-related adjustment. So you may request and get reconsideration to save that money for you. But again, if you earn $87,000, up to $109,000 as an individual or up to $218,000 as a couple, then this is going to add $57 a month to you and to your spouse. So that would be $202 a month for the premium just to be on Part B. And for our high income earners, over $500,000 or $750,000 for a couple, you get to pay the whopping fair share, they call it, of almost $500. The interesting thing is your utilization higher or less just because you earned more money now? None. It's the same exact thing. But of course, in their infinite wisdom, Congress believes that if you earned more, you get to pay more to subsidize the fact that the people that earn less than $87,000 are keeping this low at $144.60. So those are the rates for 2020. The trustees report that came out early in 2019 was just a recommendation over to Medicare. The final actuarial numbers had to take into account what happened all through 2019. And based on that, they added $1 to the official trustee recommendation. So now it's $198, the Part B deductible, going forward for 2020. Incidentally, the trustees also anticipated, and it's even harder to look out 24 months, but they did anticipate that their recommendation for 2021 was going to be that the Part B deductible was going to be $207 for the year. Now, how does that work? All of your charges starting in January, you have to pay for on the outpatient side, that's Part B, and then Medicare kicks in with the 80/20. Those of you who enjoy a Medicare supplement still get to go to any doctor, any hospital, anywhere in America that accepts original Medicare, which is just about everyone, and then you would pay 20% of the Part B charges after you meet that deductible, which for 2020 is $198. So the first $198, you have to pay that. After that, you would be on an 80/20 arrangement unless you have a Medicare supplement, and that's where the Medicare supplement kicks in. It's still allowing the freedom and the flexibility to go anywhere. How does this affect you on a Medicare Advantage plan? Not so much, except for the fact that the IRMA still applies to you. That's the income-related adjustment on the monthly premium. That still does affect you. And the Part B, you have to continue to pay. You have to keep on Part B in order to not use Part B. It just really doesn't make much sense. So Part A and Part B are required, the underpinnings of being on the Medicare program. But on a Medicare Advantage, you're not really utilizing Part B. Instead, you have a one-year contract, and it's a yearly contract with a Medicare Advantage company. So while original Part B benefits spell out that you can go to outpatient services, doctors, x-rays, labs, without a network, without a referral, without a restriction on where you can go and all that, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, then those Part B rules do not apply to you. You have to go within the contract because for all intents and purposes, you have opted out. You've opted into a private arrangement with an insurance company, and that insurance company is being paid by the government on your behalf. So everything that affects Part B, and that's the Part B deductible, the Part B freedom and the flexibility to go anywhere and the 80/20 and all that, that does not affect you if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan. The Medicare Advantage rules would apply to you. The only difference is you have to pay for Part B, even though you don't get to use Part B. So if you're on original Medicare, which is my firm belief that the majority of people probably should stay on because the majority of people still are on original Medicare, this is going to be a very slight increase. It's $198 for the Part B deductible going forward. Now, for those of you who are not on Medicare yet, you're going to start Medicare January going forward. We've helped a lot of people already even as it's November that I'm recording this. We've written people for January, February, March, April, May, June almost. We're getting ready to write. We have not written June yet, but we're writing like 6 months out right now. Those people cannot get on Plan F even if they wanted to. The Plan F business in our operation has been less than 1% of the people that we write. We just don't recommend it because the numbers don't prove out to be worth getting Plan F. Those people that have been on Plan F with other agents, we've shown them the light as to why they want to get off of that plan. There are some very unique caveats like South Florida and parts of California, New York, Connecticut, Vermont. Those are unique situations that we need to talk about one-on-one because there are very unique opportunities there that do not fit the mold of the rest of the country as it pertains to, yes, go with Plan G or yes, go with Plan N. Those unique pockets of the country, and it's interesting having this perspective of seeing the entire country and how rates are affecting different people. And we've come up with opportunities for those unique pockets of the country that other people can't enjoy. And yet those people in those specific places like South Florida, New York, Connecticut, Vermont, they have to take advantage of these. Otherwise they'd pay way, way, way too much if they follow just the normal common practice that the rest of the country typically does. Every area is unique. People always comment on the YouTube channel and they're like, well, how could somebody possibly afford a Medicare supplement? Because these are the people that live in those high premium areas. And again, for those areas, we have unique strategies that you probably should reach out and find out what those are. It's strange. I just did a brand new person turning 65 the other day. Their premium for Plan N was $68 a month. That is crazy inexpensive compared to other parts of the country where we have to do more creative things to help those people get a plan that's both affordable and yet still comprehensive based on their locality. So all of these rates, all these plans are location specific. It depends on your zip code, your male or female, whether you smoke or not, and your age. So if we can help you with that, that's what we do. We help people get signed up for Medicare supplement insurance so they can defeat those big bills, not have the 20%, which is an unlimited number if you just have original Medicare, not have that 20% looming bill to worry about. Offer some safety and protection so that as you go through your Medicare journey, you're not exposed to 20% of an unknown number. My name is Chris Westfall. Thanks so much for watching. For 2020, Part B deductible is officially $198. Have a great day. Bye-bye. 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, November the 9th, and the 2020 Medicare numbers just came out at 5 o'clock yesterday, November the 8th. Same thing they did last year. Of course, it won't be public in the Federal Register until next week, but we have the early numbers, and the Federal Trustee report was off by only $1. How's that going to affect everyone? How was the number calculated? That's what I'm headed to the office right now to make a video and talk about. Because if it's Medicare news, you're gonna hear it first here.